This is Naked Awareness. So, this is just a little story that I heard, and I'll be sharing links from where I got this information. A couple of YouTube videos that I watched, and that I just love this. So there were two young fish swimming through the water, and an older, wiser fish approached them. This big fish came up and said to them, "Hey, you two, how's the water?" I heard this, and this triggered some things. So they kind of didn't answer him and swam by. Minutes later, they looked at each other and they said, "What is water?" So these two fish just didn't understand what this person, said. So what does that mean to us? Is they're not focused on the fact that they're swimming in water because it's always there. That's like me saying, "Hey, how's the air?" And until I said that, you would forget that we live in this environment that has air. So you see where I'm going with this, right? When Bill Gates first met Warren Buffett, this is a famous conversation. Their host, Gates' mother, which is interesting, asked everyone around the table to share the single most important factor to their success. Now, that's an interesting question to ask Bill Gates and Warren Buffett, whether you like them or not. What is the single most important factor to success? And here's what's interesting about these two giants. Gates and Buffett both gave the same one-word answers. They both looked at each other and said, "Focus." Buffett even says this: really successful people say no to almost everything. So you see where my fascination is right now. There's this inflection point between this idea that we need to be extremely laser focused on things and almost obsessed with things. But at the same time, like the fish, it also creates a situation where we forget about the simple things that are happening around us. So I don't know what is the right thing to do, but I'm fascinated with this. So I'm fascinated with focus in general this morning. What's interesting about people that are highly focused, people that are laser focused, is they have a great deal of success in completing tasks. Obviously, I mean, that's fascinating, but makes sense. Completing tasks and achieving goals. What's interesting to observe within that, though, is this. If I can ask you to take your focus off of what I just said, meaning focus is the number one most important factor in success. If I could take your focus off of that for a second, is that these people that are highly focused, they also have a high propensity to miss the little things that are happening outside of their laser focus. In my experience, in fact, in life, the most magical things that have come into my life have come from outside my focal point. If I'm focused on what's ahead of me, that's fine. And I understand the value of that. But the greatest, most magical things that have ever happened in my life, which is why I have to practice gratitude. Gratitude gives us the ability to see what we have a tendency of forgetting to see. But they have come from outside my focal point, from the side, from the 90-degree angle. There is a great TED Talk by somebody that I had the opportunity to be mentored by, a man named Marshall Thurber. If you don't know who Marshall Thurber is, if you read the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Kiyosaki, Marshall Thurber represents, I believe, the rich dad. So Marshall Thurber, look it up, TED Talk, and he talks about immutable theories in life, things that just happen whether you like it or not. But he talks great about that. And the skill set here is recognizing that many things and insights are very, very subtle. Some of these special things, they're very, very, very subtle and easily missed if you're focused on one thing. Now, if you have a tendency of not being ultra focused, if you're the person that says, "I need to focus," here's what I need you to know. You are extremely focused, just on the wrong thing, not the thing at hand, right? That's the shiny object syndrome. We get distracted, but you're focused on the distraction. So you have the ability to be focused. So the skill set here is recognizing that many things are subtle, right? And then missed if you're focused on something. Keep your eye on the prize. So ones that only a subtle mind can see, because only a subtle mind can see a subtle sign. So here's the magic here. That sign, I told you the most magical things come from outside my focal point. That sign can be completely just groundbreaking and change your life and narrative forever and help you break through. It could be the actual thing. Isn't that interesting that the thing that you need to break through might not be the thing that you're focused on? That's not to say that what you're focused on is not of value, but the thing, the little thing, I don't know what your thing is, but the little thing that's going to help you break through and change the whole game might be outside your focal point. So just being conscious of that, you know, I guess that's probably why when we learn to drive, they teach us how to see the big picture. You don't want to get hit from the side. So it's interesting to consider the value of the silent or limited mind, right? That idea of meditating and just getting a blank mind, clearing the etch-a-sketch, and having the ability to pick up the subtle blessings. That's why I like to center myself. That's why I practice becoming unfuckwithable. It's not that I don't want to have problems in life. It's that I don't want to be distracted from my ability to choose what it is that I focus on, right? The busy mind misses these things. The busy mind misses these things. That's the value. And we talk a lot on this show about how busy the mind is. Don't let your busy mind get involved today. It's going to do what it always does. You can recognize what it's doing, that thought thunderstorm, but don't let it get involved in your decisions and your perceptions today. Silence is the best teacher and receiver. In fact, I encourage you to refrain from listening to this message with your limited mind. I encourage you to stop listening to me and buying into anything that I've just said. Listen with your ears and let go of all your thoughts and interests. That's how you listen with your ears. You don't have to listen with your mind. Let your ears do their job, but you don't have to buy into it. I call this resting in a naked awareness of reality. Make sense? I sure hope it does. Love and appreciate you all. It's good to be back. I will be back tomorrow, withstanding any catastrophic, crazy things. Follow us on Rise Up with Dragon Facebook community. Go to riseupwithdragon.com. Get on our newsletter. A lot of fun stuff happening. When you get on that newsletter, you'll always be the first to know. And then our podcast, Rise Up with Dragons, where you get this version in a much smaller, concise form. And the second book that I'm writing while the first is being edited, Bring Forth, is really, really going to be amazing. So love and appreciate you. Have an amazing day, and I'll see you tomorrow.